Cool. Welcome everybody. We are back with another podcast, and today we are going to have a very um, casual topic, I would say, which our generation is very much into, and this is none other than video games. There has been a lot of things that made video games very popular, and actually I would say they very much changed the way we entertain ourselves. But before we getting into the whole thing, our opinion and thoughts, of course Patrick and Domi are with me.
Welcome back, guys.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
And I think so this stuff, it's popular, of course, but for me it's too popular. So it doesn't deserve that much attention that it gets, but we will cover that in the next 1 hour or more.
Yeah. So I think fast warm up. How are you with video games? Like how much you play, guys? What you
Would
play
you like
with?
to
If
start?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So personally, I think I love gaming, but I don't game too much. And this is mostly on because I don't have time for it. Like I've always got better things to do. But when I find time for it, like on the week, then I love doing it. I love playing. It just for me it's like series. It just catches my brain off, and it's so cool for that. And also it's really good for socializing, I believe. And yeah, so I think I would say I'm into gaming, but I don't play that much now. So like not really much. And if I do play games, I play with mostly sandbox games. So all these manager games, like Sims, SimCity, or Minecraft is my all-time favorite. Um, and yeah, I would say that's it. What about you guys?
Tommy?
Well, in the past, I played a lot, but so as I grow older and older, I just grew out of it. So right now I don't play any video game, and I don't plan on starting it. So yeah, as you mentioned, I also find better things to do also, and so I just regret the time I spent in front of the monitor with these stupid games. Of course, so there are good ways, good games and good parts of gaming. So like Sims, that is a very good game, and it can help in several parts of life. So like it's basically using creativity and building something, and of course caring for your Sims. But still, for me, right now they just don't get my attention, so I don't really enjoy. So I find better things in my free time, like gaming.
Yeah, I can
Patrick?
agree. Yeah, I can agree with that to 100%, actually. So, but like for me, I'm kind of like, in between, because I used to play a lot when I was younger, of course. I used to play with my neighbor a lot. We've started off with the FIFA series, that when you're controlling your players on the football field, and you have to score goals. It was that was like one of the first games I started with, and I really enjoyed that. But on the other hand, when I was younger, I was a dumb fuck. I Because of the like psychologically the games changed me throughout my time when I was younger. It was about like when I was like from 7 to 12 years old, so that specific era of my life. um and the fact is that like I was so stressed when I couldn't win, and that competitive attitude towards everything in life. When it comes down to myself, it actually comes from this, because I believe in specific scenarios I'm quite competitive, which I can control now. So I'm not all about winning, but right now I'm all about the process, because I really enjoy competitions and I really enjoy pushing myself to my limits. But back then it was more about just seeing the trophy, the goal. It wasn't about the journey. I didn't really enjoy the game if I couldn't make it to the end, or if I couldn't make it to be like beneficial for me. So yeah, back then I couldn't actually see how I was affected by and influenced by video games, but right now I'm aware of this fact, that how I was affected back then and how I could be affected right now as well. Um, I play sometimes, so it's not like I have a schedule every single day, but it's not that strict one, when I need to do that and that. So when I feel like a bit, like that I need to, just catch off and to not concentrate on a simple thing, because I literally have so many things on my mind that I need to, just get like myself distracted from, these daily shit, and then I actually turn to some kind of, entertainment, considering, computer, when video games. I usually play like Minecraft, because I really I believe that this should be all of me, because like I've just it was just like an introduction, and when it comes down to video games, we should just how we are with video games. So I believe, yeah, it was enough. So like, yeah, that it was like for me, like it was like I would consider this time of my life when I played back then a lot. It was beneficial in the long run, but when it comes down to short term factors, it wasn't. So I regret that.
So I consider video games the best thing in them, that this can be played with friends. So when it's a social activity, then it's great. So I remember playing with you guys Grand Theft Auto for a whole night, and we really enjoyed it. So that's a way of gaming is really beneficial. And yeah, you can just relax. But on the other hand, when I hear somebody telling me that, oh, listen, I've played yesterday 18 hours straight, and that was great. I just can't imagine myself doing that shit too much. So when somebody's putting literally days in a game, that's just crazy for me.
Hey guys, by the way. Yeah, I can agree with
Yeah,
that
right.
100%, of course.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
you have some.
I mean, I think it's not that like the problem is when you do it once or twice. It's the problem. The problem comes when you do it regularly, like regularly a lot. This is when because if you did it once at summer or twice at summer, actually I can understand. It gets your brain off. It relaxes you for a whole day. I don't consider that alone a bad thing, because you need that type of distraction.
Sorry guys, I'm a bit rushed right now. So like, it's all about playing for like 18 hours straight. You mean?
Yeah, because
All right,
like
all
Tommy
right. Yeah, yeah,
mentioned that like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't really understand when somebody plays like for 18 hours a day or something like that. And so I believe the problem really comes when this is regular, when this is when this takes away lots of time from the important things, because like I can see like why you would play for a whole day. I would see that because like personally I can watch a series for a whole day, and it will be so relaxing for me, um, and that's really great.
Uh,
But like I wouldn't do it for like weeks and weeks or very regularly. Just once in a full moon.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I can agree with that. By the way, we have a question. Shall we answer it? I don't know, guys, if you're like familiar with, Counter-Strike. Have you played that?
Nope, never even
Not
downloaded
really.
it.
It's like an RP,
And
I don't know, like, what's
I'm
like this.
familiar with the style of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
me
So it's
too.
like, you need to secure the base, whether you're a, like one counter-terrorist. When you're a terrorist, you need to, blow up the whole fucking place with,
Yeah,
planting the bomb in a specific area, and the other side, like the defensive one, have to, defend that spot, or defuse the bomb in time, and
yeah,
you actually need to wipe out the whole other team in order to, to secure the win to 100%. So there's a question. Unfortunately, I tried that, and I'm a huge shit at it. So like, yeah, I can control my, sprays, control my gun. I'm moving whilst I'm shooting. I can defuse the bomb properly. I'm bad at this game as well, but I have like some, because I know a lot of things about you. Balint, I can say that you shouldn't move, man. You shouldn't, just like think about other smoke, throwing techniques and places and spots. Just listen to the team, man, honestly. You shouldn't be running while shooting, because you do that a lot, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe roasting time is over right now. We should move on a little bit. It felt good,
yeah.
to say these things.
And this just a thought came to my mind by the team you mentioned. So that's that could be awesome when you meet with somebody. So just chat with somebody while playing Counter Strike from other countries, for example. Maybe some stupid things start. So like fuck you, just saying fuck you all the time, but this can result in a friendship even.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it has opportunities, also.
But I believe it's better to go on some game with your mates. It's better to do that. It's more like, there's a chemistry between you guys, of course, because you've played the game before, so there wouldn't be like any misunderstandings, throughout the whole gaming session. So I reckon that, and when it comes on to playing with some video games, as for me, I usually try to get some friends together, or just at least one or two, and just go on playing Minecraft or something. Because when I'm alone, I rather not play video games, but I rather just like catch up with other things, like watching series, because then it's like a me time called thingy, as for me, actually. So I rather, when it comes down to playing video games, I rather go on some sessions with my mates. I don't know, what about you?
Understandable.
Yeah, of course, it's understandable.
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes do play alone as well. But it's like rarely. Previously it was way more than it is now. For me, really, like video games are pretty similar to series. It just catches you off. And for me, when I have the mood for it can be an alone thing too. It can be really enjoyable.
Of course.
I believe, and yeah, I think what we should like mention here is that like what do you think of the benefits of games? I mean, the practical things that you can gain from a game, because there are a lot. We've just mentioned, for example, teamwork or reflexes or creativity. Yeah. So what's your opinion on that? How effective you think these are? And
it's like the pull factors, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to start off with this one, Domi, or shall I go?
Well, I can. So,
all right.
Well, of course, there are different styles of games. So, different styles of games will benefit differently, of course. So, like when you're playing a game where you're fighting with somebody, then that will cover other parts of your brain than when you, I don't know, building a house in Minecraft. But still, so you mentioned the teamwork and the creativity. Of course, these are crucial in life. So when you can improve them in a way that is enjoyable and for a lot of, and we can agree on that lots of people enjoy playing games. Well, then it's a great opportunity. Well, reflexes, of course, are another part. But still, I would say that every skill that you can learn through these video games, so like reflexes and teamwork, can be reached by doing sports in real life. And for me, these are, well, a better option. So like playing football, playing basketball will improve your focus, well, teamwork, your focus, and well, creativity is another thing. But still, for me, I would search in real life for the ways to improve these skills that video games can improve.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't, I'm not necessarily agreeing with that one though. And I will explain why. So first things first, I think there are such skills that are provided by games which are really, really hard to find in real life. Um, like really, especially if we think of the computing side of the things, because we shouldn't forget about that when you are playing games, you do not just learn the game itself. You learn a lot about your computer and how your computer works, which is very, very important and very, very useful. Like nowadays, I would say there is the most important thing is to know how to use computers. Um, and second thing, you not necessarily like the real life methods of it. Just really a personal example. Uh, you couldn't get me to do team sports. Like I hate team sports. They are not for me, and I will never do team sports for that, and so never be engaged in such activities. But I will be in games. Um, and there are a lot of people with similar experiences. Um, and and the third thing is that doing like playing a game does not at all close out the opportunity to do a uh, real life thing that improves those certain skills. Like you can do that simultaneously. Just probably playing a game is a way chillier way, way more easygoing, which is like in your relaxation of your day. Like you do it when you relax and catch off.
Yeah, yeah, I can actually agree with both of you, of course, because I play team sport in real life as well. So I play football, and you know, get along with your teammates, and the chemistry between you guys is really important. It's significant on the pitch, of course, to understand each other, to motivate each other on the field. Reaction time. Motor skills, coordination skills, and stuff like that cannot be, I believe, cannot be developed just via playing video games. So when it comes down to moving your body physically and to um, you know gain that power physically, gain that um, motivation physically, you need to go out there and do some sports, at least do something in the gym. But I really recon team sports as well, because it's a good community. It's not about fake friendships. It's not about competition between each other. Of course, on a higher level, it is definitely a thing, I would say. But like when it comes down to real life, you actually, I believe, you cannot even compare the two together. Because via video games, you actually improve and develop your mind and your way of thinking, and those parts in your brain that are representatives of your reflection skills, but not physically, but like more of like mentally, and more of like in your brain. um, like creativity can be improved by just only sitting down and doing something on a computer. And of course you can play some board games with your mates. You can do you can actually play chess, of course, with your dad or with someone that the other can play as well. But the easiest way is to get on your computer and play some shit, because today's world really, really, really requires these stuff, this like online based entertainment, because this is what we are heading towards to, because of the development of the technology right now.
Yeah.
And this is a thing. So I would say all the board games will remain just in parties. It won't be a thing. Of course, back then, 20 years ago, it was a real thing, like among the family, among friends. So every other day, you go, you find a spot, you go out there, play some board games, real life. But right now, it's easier to um, entertain yourself and catch off, with your mates, with your friends, because you just hit up your computer, go on some game, play something, and you actually don't need anything else right now. You don't need to move. You don't need to get out of the house. Just imagine, I have a question for you. Just imagine that the coronavirus hit 20 years ago. What the heck would you do in order to catch off, but not just by yourself? You are desperately trying to make some contact with your mates, with your friends. What do you do? So I would say, first of all, I would say that there's no opportunities. 20 years ago, you had no other opportunities. Right now, I'm feeling blessed because of the technology that we have right now.
Yeah, you definitely. It's especially like literally there were two things 20 years prior. First is like you maybe had a potato computer, I would say, but like literally a really weak computer. But those weren't like really weren't spread over. And the second option you had is meeting, as like physical meeting, and that's that. And I think you've got a really main point with, for example, COVID-19, as I think gaming was and still is a really good social interaction while we are in quarantine and while we don't have school and cannot go out much. It can be a great way of it. And yeah, I think none of us mean that it replaces it, because obviously it doesn't. As it doesn't replaces sports, it doesn't replaces school, it doesn't replace anything in your life. It's an extra thing in your life, I would say, which you may like, may not like, and generally speaking, if you do like, I think, if, of course, assume that you are controlling it. It's a really good thing if you are controlling it. If it takes 1 hour or 2 hours of your day, maybe if you actually do it daily, I would say that's still fine. And if you don't do it daily, just like weekly or something, then again, that's really cool too, because that's really just a way of relaxation, way of catching your brain off, which I've been saying since literally the beginning of the stream. And the main point is that you actually relax, but also improve, while you don't even realize that you're improving, but you are actually improving. And especially if we think of children, you can teach so many things throughout games for children. and there are really good concepts. For example, I don't know how much you heard about it, but Minecraft came so like Mojang came out with a book which tries to explain the periodic table throughout Minecraft to kids, and it's fucking cool. Like 10 years ago, you didn't have the possibility to get children learn about the periodic table by any chance. So,
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
so I think there are really beneficial things here.
definitely. But of course, there's a downside as well, and I'm truly believe that Domi is, on the other side of this argument. So, what's your thoughts about this that we've just mentioned?
Well, talking about kids, so you mentioned that happy side that everybody is trying to improve the skills, but well, in reality, mostly it isn't happening. So if you see a kid playing video games, well, I don't think that's necessarily a productive and useful thing that they are doing. So, like, mostly it's just an escape from the real world, and it isn't something that you do that genuinely helps you. It's just an escape. So the kids are grown up in a life where when they aren't happy with the outside, they can just slowly turn on their computer and start a game where they can be whoever they want, and these will have the consequences. So an extreme situation can come out of it, like when you're addicted to it, because it can be addictive, of course. And yeah, what you had mentioned is true also. So when you can control it, then it's okay. But mostly because of this design, this texture and everything, these video games are built to grab your attention and to stick you in front of your computer, to not be able to deny it. At least that's what I see. So if we take a look at a strategy of a game built, then every fucking part, every game requires you to check it constantly, because if you don't do it, then you will lose your stats, you will use your points. And so the sad reality that everything, mostly of course, is just a business, just for business. So how can they sell more? And how can they, well, grab your attention again to you playing this all night because you enjoy it? And if you enjoy it, you will buy the extra parts of it, you will buy that character, you will buy a new skin, and give them more money so they can improve it, and more people can play it. And if this power is in good hands, then we are saved. But sadly, lots of things can go wrong with this method.
I
Understandable. So
yeah, I guess I totally see your point, and I could partially definitely agree, especially with the dangers. Like, yeah, there are huge dangers with gaming, and we cannot deny that. Like, computer and especially gaming addiction is a problem among children and among teenagers and among even adults. Um, and yeah, as every addiction, it is terrible. Like, when your thinking is all about gaming, when your attention is all about gaming, when your life is literally about gaming, then of course that's unhealthy. That's not good for your social health, for your physical health. That's not good for your mental health. That's not good for your relationships and nothing in your life. And yeah, it is a problem that there is a growing number of addictions. I can definitely agree. But especially if we see the children, I think there is a real question if of that addiction is actually the children's fault, because I'm not
of course not.
because
No way.
because like the children just see that, like, oh, I like it, why not doing it more? And I believe that, like, here should come in the parent and say that, like, hey, you can play deathmatch and not more because it's unhealthy. And of course, parents don't really do that because lots of them, let's be honest, don't really understand what are video games about. And also, lots of parents don't care about, like, if there is a 16 plus video game or if there is an 18 plus video game, because it has an age restriction for a reason. But lots of them really don't care about, which is actually, I believe, a huge problem.
Until the child is not fucking around the house and not whining about wanting to get the latest trends of shoes, I believe the parents are okay with that, you know.
Yeah,
In today's society, I believe bringing up children, you know, faded away into something else, which is not good, which is not beneficial for children. It's significantly changed, and it's fucked. The upbringing of children in today's society is quite different. It's a different breed.
yeah, because there is so huge gap between us and our parents, because there was a so huge leap in technology. Just like, think of if you search for a 2000 a game that was released in 2000, it's like nothing like that it is now. But if you compare a game which was released in 2000 to something that was released in 1980, there won't be that big of a difference. So, like, there has been a so huge jump over the last 20 years that the parents and the children are actually splitting up and getting a bigger gap between them. I believe so.
Yeah, technology, you know, switching up the cards, you know. So it's an unfortunate thing, of course, but I believe one of you mentioned that business or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's all about business. I can agree with that to 100%. Oh my god, yes, definitely. It's definitely business orientated. This sector of the economy, especially because, you know, concentrating on one specific age group, you've already won. you've already won the game. You've already won the competition between the brands, between other companies, between other institutions, industries. Because saying that it's for young children from the age of 4 to 12, then you're in a safe place, man, especially in today's world. Because most of the 5 years old are right now, I can assure you that, not right now, but like, I believe on a daily basis they use their phone, and they don't use their phone in order to, solve some mathematical equations at the age of 5.
And
But
they shouldn't.
and they shouldn't, of
Yeah.
course. But they scrolling through Instagram, they scrolling through Facebook, they scrolling through TikTok, and they play video games on their mobiles at least. Of course they can't, because they don't understand, the keys, the keyboard, how to manage, how to adjust your keyboard, but they can touch the screen of their phones. And I believe as a 5-year-old, as a 6-year-old, as a 7, as an 8, 9, 10, you shouldn't do that. I believe there should be a limitation when it comes down to playing those video games which show brutality, killing people, blood, sexual, stuff as well, soft porn maybe. I definitely would limit those games that requires competitive mindset, that requires um, um, those skills when you need to lie about something, and these are just like some of those greatest sectors of video games that I don't really recommend to these young children, because at those specific time of your life, your whole personality is about to change, is about to grow, is about to improve. And besides school, of course you spend like 8 hours in school, but when you spend the other hours of your afternoon playing video games, then who would have guessed what is going to improve your personality? Of course the video games, of course what you see on the screen, of course what you feel, what you enjoy in the game. What's your character like? What do you do with that character? What do you do with others in the game? I believe it's a big problem.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what is the sad side of the things? I just researched. Most of the popular games have age restriction on them. Like, literally, Minecraft has age restriction.
But who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah.
So
People don't care. Yeah,
nobody looks at that.
yeah, but like, this is again what the parents should look up to, because obviously not the children will, because like they don't care about that stuff, but there are age restrictions, and I believe that video game companies can only do age restrictions. Like, what else could you do as a company who makes video games? Because you cannot check if really only 14 plus people play your game. It's just like you cannot check if only 13 plus people are on Facebook. You cannot check it. And yeah, it really is a huge problem. Also on the business stuff, considering age, I think what shows the most is Minecraft. It's like how Minecraft has players from the age of 5 till the age of 60, literally. Shows that your game will be successful if it's accessible for a lot of people. and I think that video game companies try to focus on that to have a huge accessibility.
I have a question for you guys. So,
Yeah.
talking about these kinds of games, which type would be beneficial and would fit perfectly to different generations? So, like talking about kids, which one should they play? Because of course, so not talking about how fighting and so these. I suppose Counter-Strike isn't the best option when we're talking about a 7-year-old boy or a girl. But how do you think these games change? So not the fact, not the statistics, but the opinion about the whole thing. How should people change their games according to their old? According to how old are they?
Would you like to start with this, Roland, or shall I?
I can, because I just have like a very fast, quick thought on that.
All right.
So like, I think what should be like the main focus is, in case of children, it should be on creativity, on building, on creating stuff, and maybe things that improve your motor skills, your finer motor skills. To just describe, I think Minecraft is a good example of that. For like the younger age. And then the upper age, I believe that should be like more of these team games, these strategy games that maybe even have violence in it and stuff, but like mainly on how you play strategies, teamwork. Because like at the age of 14, 15, you probably, hopefully, can separate the real world and violence in video games, and so that could appear games like PUBG or Call of Duty. Yeah, so I thought something like that.
Yeah, I can agree with that to 100%. Of course, and I would say basic life skills. So like, and those games that are actually educate you. I would say survival games are one of the greatest ones, because as a young children, facing the night, facing the darkness, facing animals in the forest, it's quite scary, of course, for a 7-year-old, but it's not as scary as considering someone you've just shot in the head, and their blood is just like flowing into your hands, because you are trying to separate the head off of the body, because you need to
Thank you.
because you need to bring the head to your lord or some shit. Yeah. And like, on the other hand, I would say that, of course, games which requires creativity, which requires survival mode, because survival mode is actually in us. It was in us from the very beginning of humanity, of course. So it's definitely a good thing, I believe so. And those games that when you have to decide about the upcoming scene, the upcoming scenery of the game, it's like Walking Dead. Of course, you shouldn't play with Walking Dead when you're a 7-year-old, but I just don't know anything else on my mind right now which requires these kind of decisions. Then after you make a decision, then you can move on with the game.
Isn't it
And of
called
course,
butterfly games?
I would say so, because the outcome is actually dependent on you.
Yeah. Like, for example, like Life is Strange.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yes, I can agree with that. Yeah, definitely. And Walking Dead as well. Two experiences that I believe you shouldn't play as a 7-year, but like it's okay. It's up to you, man, and it's up to your parents as well. However, on the other side, I would say that facing these brutal stuff at the very young age actually makes you like not most of the times, of course, it makes you something else, which is actually um, a danger for the society when it comes down to playing with other kids, and you just grab the neck because you've just seen it on a video game.
Violence.
Yeah, violence. I would say most kids that play that are playing with these games are actual dangers for the others. But like, there's a slight percentage where in that when you actually can learn how to deal with these situations, because there are some situations in life, for instance death, it's quite a common one, and I wouldn't say that it prepares you to understand why why do we die, why do we have to leave this place after time, why we have to go after time. But I believe seeing someone dying, and seeing someone who is actually like literally on the deathbed of then in real life, I believe when you see it on screen 10,000, 100,000, a million times, then it wouldn't hit as hard in real life as it should be, as it should
Well,
hit.
in the games, it's usually like, oh, I lost one heart. Oh, I lost another. Oh, I died. So one click, return to life. Thank you.
It's not like about you, but when there's a good game, like I really love Walking Dead, and sometimes when you're playing these kind of things, you actually can be connected to these of course imaginable characters that are playing in the video game, and sometimes you have feelings for these people, you have true feelings, and seeing them dying throughout the whole game, seeing them, going away because of, dangers, other dangers, and some stuff like that, then it really hits you. So when it comes down to me, I actually played Walking Dead when I was like 10 years old. Um, and I felt that, and I felt pain in me when one of my favorite characters had to go. It was shit. But on the other hand, I believe I can say that. So unfortunately, several years ago, my grandma passed away, and understanding that in real life, actually, beforehand playing with these type of games, when you have to see those people die virtually that you really like, that you have a real strong bond with them. Of course, these are just like virtual characters, so you can't touch them physically or some shit. But the your imagination is quite hard.
Yeah, and you can bond to them, like
Yeah, of
that's
course you can bond to
psychologically
them.
proven.
Yeah, and seeing someone, I could see losing a lot of virtual friends of mine throughout this game, and understanding that my grandma is is away, unfortunately, and I will never see her again, it actually helped me to understand that there's fun in life, there's good times in life, but there's always an end of everything. And at the age of 11, it really helped me, at that time. So I'm just like, I'm thankful for this experience, of course, I would say.
The topic became very deep.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Oh,
by the way, I think
this is the other side of video games, I would say.
yeah, I
Small
think
percentage, yeah.
I
Sorry.
think you've got a really cute point here. But I also believe that this is true for story-based video games. This is very true for story-based video games, I believe. Or is Walking Dead is Walking Dead that, right? Like story-based video game, it has a story and stuff. Yeah, so it's very true for those, and I really see the huge possibility in story-based video games. I don't know what is your opinion on them, but I think for a lot of people, it's like a better movie or a better series because you can even control. You're not just a viewer, but you actually control what will happen, what will be the story, and that's like that feels like an interactive movie. That's fucking cool, I believe. And also puts you in a lot of situation, and what just Patrick was explaining as a very a deep one of them, but actually because you are put into this much of situations, you can learn a lot from a story-based thing. As you can learn from a movie, as you can learn from series, you can even learn from yourself. Of course, not everyone does, and of course, not these are the most popular games. But there is a high percentage which does.
Yeah, I agree with that too. 100%, of course.
fuck
Like-
you guys. I think I will bring back one of my older games. So I will
And yeah,
change my. So talking about the positive effects, I think I will try this again and give this another chance. So I'm talking about Shadow of Mordor. This also a storyline based game. Well, it has some violence in it. Of course, you have to kill orcs in it, but well, somehow everything you do in life will somehow have a positive effect.
Yeah.
Somehow will bring you along your life, and well, you have changed my perspective a little bit, just a little bit, of course.
Yes,
But
Wow. But
maybe I won't be so damn radical.
I am still too, to be honest. So even though I play video games, sometimes I feel I shouldn't. So it's a simple thing. You know, life goes on. You are evolving as a person. You're trying to focus on your studies, career, and some shit. But sometimes it's really I couldn't I couldn't understand whether I had no opportunity to play video games, for instance, on the weekends, because I believe on the weekends or on shitty weekdays, at the end of the day, I believe playing for 1 or 2 hours with your friends, actually gives you some motivation as well, because you can talk to each other, about your problems, what you had during the day or some, during the week. And I would say, like, there's and hear me out. So this is what I usually do. I have an old Xbox 360 and there are some really like old games, and what hits different, what it really hits different. I just forgot the word, actually. When you feel the vibe.
nostalgic.
Yeah, it's nostalgic and it's a deja vu.
Oh,
It's a deja vu when you sit down and play with those video games you've played like that you played like 7 or 8 or 10 years ago, and it's great. And it's and yeah, that this is the other right word for that. It's really nostalgic, and it's that specific feeling when you're sitting down to play, for instance, FIFA 11 or something like that. I usually play Assassin's Creed when it comes down to open world games, because I'm really keen on with that type of storyline based games. I'm really keen on with Assassin's Creed, and I really love that. And I have a specific favorite one, which is Black Flag. I don't know whether you guys heard about it or not. Uh, and when I play it these days as well, it literally gives me chills every single time, because it's deja vu every single time. It's great.
yeah, I can really see that. For me, these games are mainly Minecraft and SimCity. Yeah, SimCity. Uh, I've been playing Minecraft, I think, like when I was 9 years old or something like that. Uh, and I've been playing SimCity for like when I was 12 years old. And this game and whenever I sit down and play these games, it's just a calm and safe area, you know. And this is when comes down what Domi said, that it's an escape, and in this sense it can be an escape. That like you feel like you completely buried yourself into the game, and you a little bit forgot about your everyday stress and problems, and that can feel good. Of course, it's not good when you avoiding your problems, but it is good when you just want to have a rest, when you want to have a little bit like stressless state for like hours. uh and that's really good, I believe. um and yeah, I think what we can highlight here is the fact that games have a lot of opportunity in them, I believe. uh but like generally speaking, for entertainment, and and you can just compare it to alcohol, for example, to just be a little bit um radical with it. Compare it to alcohol.
Fuck you. I miss booze so much, man. I need it in my system.
Yeah, so if you compare it to that, if you drink 2 glasses of wine, or you grab 2 beers, you have a shot.
Yeah.
Like
All
not
at
not
once.
no, not all at once. Yeah, I wanted to highlight that not all at once. Just I wanted to say different types of drinks.
I would do that, by the way.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so the fact if you do that in a party, if, not saying weekly, but like 2 weekly or whatever, this doesn't really have a schedule. Then it's like, hey, you are with your friends, you love it, and if you play like games for an hour, 2 hours a week, or 2 days, every 2 days, or whatever, it is great. It's so cool. You're relaxed. You're socializing. But then if you drink every day, you will become an alcoholic, and your whole life will go the shit out. And if you play long hours of games every day, your life will go the shit out.
Yeah, this is one of the, I believe, one of the most unfortunate things, that the time is actually the greatest, the most precious, the only thing, the only issue that you really should seize, that you really should care about. Time is everything. Time is money. Time is life. Time is actually what every single living soul has on this world, and you need to manage it wisely in order to live the shit out of your life. And the unfortunate thing about video games, and when it comes down to playing with them for like, yeah, regular, I wouldn't say regularly, but like every single day, 12, 14 hours straight. You know what? You know what other stuff could have happened like during the day? You could have had a great conversation with your parents. You could have had, you could have learned about how to cook because your parents weren't at home. You could have read a great book which really builds up your creativity, because when it comes down to reading, you definitely have to imagine some stuff. You have to visualize it in front of yourself. You could have done something for yourself. You could have done some workouts. You could have meet other people. You could have met other people as well. But like, and this is, when you enjoy something, most of the time you have to pay the price. And when it comes down to playing video games, the price is actually a shit ton of time. So when I hear that there are some people out there who has several thousand hours in games,
That's
I,
crazy.
I believe that's a brave thing to do that, because you miss out on a lot of things. You miss out on meeting new people. You miss out on building your connection, building your family. Building like stuff inside of your family. You really miss out on the weekends, because I know some people who actually say that I have to leave early when it comes down to go out partying and stuff like that. I have to leave early because next day, tomorrow, I have a challenge, which is, for instance, in, I don't know, like World of Warcraft or something. When it comes down to that you actually decide to throw away real life experiences, real life happenings and celebrations and stuff like that, parties, and you choose the virtual world, because of instead of going out with your friends. I believe that's a problem, and that should be managed by professionalists, of course. And you really should learn about your addiction, because it's the first step.
It's a general rule to stay in the middle, to find the golden mean. When every time with nearly everything, so clearly everything, when you put everything every time you put your whole attention to something, then that wouldn't cause you happiness and so much good, because if you neglect some parts of your life, those will hit hard. I can guarantee it. And with this computer addiction we're talking about, this is what's happening, what can happen. Because yeah, when you put playing video games to the first place of your list, then other importanter things will be missed out, and that is really, really shitty.
Yeah.
You will see, and everybody will see, because we're talking about something that isn't real, and you live in the real world, not in the imaginary fields. And going on the imaginary world isn't causing too much other than current. So just one time happiness. It won't long, so you jumped into it, you enjoyed it, but when you left the game, you left the feeling also. I believe playing games won't cause that achievement, feeling of achieving something, that meeting with your friends, competition will cause, because that's not the reality. And when somebody mixes it, it can cause trouble. So you know when somebody neglects the reality, that's just clearly bad. And playing video games can lead to that life. Of course, these are the extreme situations, but nowadays it's getting well, normal, I would say. So when you see a group of children talking about something, it will be games. And when it's the normal, then everybody would follow the rules, the so-called rules, because this is what others do, then I will do it, of course. And if this peer pressure comes in, then this will increase the whole problem.
Yeah. I think the main point or here is just like, generally speaking, don't miss out on life. Don't miss out of life because of one single thing, one single habit, one single enjoyment. Because it's not worthwhile. So I believe that like we're getting close to our close up section. So do you guys have any other thoughts?
That's really.
No, okay. So closing up. Moral of the story: play games, really play games, but control amount you play, and that's very important. Well, anyway, it's cool. And so, if you enjoyed this podcast, then hit us a like and subscribe. Also, check the bell icon because this is the only way you can get notified. Share would be really, really appreciated, guys. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where you can you can get notified also on the stuff we are doing, and maybe some extra insider and backstage content are revealed as well. So I think this is all for today. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.